patience. Alright, so I started right now.
Alright.
So the first question. How was your day today? How was your day today?
It was a long but good day for sure. Had school in the morning, woke up late. But it was alright, only...
You woke up late for school?
Yeah, a little bit. I got there on time. I just didn't give myself time to get ready as I should have. But who cares? It's like my Friday today, so...
But today's only Tuesday.
Yeah, and then this girl that I'm friends with, that I considered maybe my best friend, she stopped talking to me for 2 weeks.
Why?
I think it's because I got back with this guy that she doesn't approve of,
Right.
and she just ignored me for 2 weeks. So, I don't know, that kind of hurt, and I really wanted to talk with her to understand what was going on, what I did. So I texted her. She was like being really distant, but once we like met together in person, she explained it to me, and I could kind of see where she was coming from, and she knew that I was like had a good heart and I didn't mean whatever she thought was going on. So we're on good terms now.
That happened today?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And then
it was a good day. That's why it was a good day today.
Yeah, and then I had work right after. Cool. Next question.
Next question, we just kind of dive right into it. If you could just tell me a little bit about your childhood.
So I grew up in Lakewood, Colorado. My parents are pastors of a Spanish church. So I grew up in the church like 4 days a week, or more. I used to spend the night at the church all the time because we would be there a lot. Didn't really have many friends. Didn't like elementary school because I got bullied. Let's see. Spended a lot of time with my family and my brothers. I have 2 brothers. I would say I was stuck in my head a lot, and my dad definitely put religious views on me, like girls can't do this, you know, like, yeah, like if I spit in front of him once and he like almost slapped me. He was like, girls do not spit. I could not burp. So like my burps are really, really low because I was never able to burp in front of my dad without him thinking it was disrespectful. But my brothers could do it at the dinner table. Evangelical. Don't really know the difference. So, but yeah, so I had fun most of the time.
What were your dreams as a child?
As a child, I probably wanted to be a doctor, wanted to live on my own at 18, and wanted to live out of state or out of the country at some point. And also getting a job right away as soon as possible.
As a kid, those are just...
As a kid, yeah. In elementary school, I was applying for middle school. I was applying for jobs, even though obviously I wasn't of age. But it kind of just like, I would talk with people like, are you hiring? And it was always exciting.
Tell me about your relationship with your dad, and within that relationship, what are the emotions you have attached with it?
Right now or in my childhood?
In your childhood.
I felt like I could rely on my dad. He was kind of like my rock. I felt unsteady most of the time, and I felt like if I was ever in danger, if I needed help, he was the man to go to.
So you felt safe with him?
I did, but I also was afraid of him at the same time.
How about now as an adult?
Now I feel kind of awkward around my dad because our beliefs are like opposites. You know, he's very, very conservative and loves talking about politics, and will always send me like videos of, you know, conservatives talking and things like that. And also just like very religious, always talks about the church. And I'm not really in the church community anymore. I don't really believe what they believe, and it's kind of hard because his whole life centers around those things. And I just feel like I have nothing else to relate to him, because what I do in my life is considered like evil to him. But he still loves me. I just don't know how to build a relationship with him.
So how does that make you feel?
Lately conflicted. I don't really know what to do about it, because, you know, it's one of those things where I'm 21 and I've just accepted that I don't believe in anything right now. So I just mostly feel kind of awkward. Don't really know what to do about the situation. He doesn't know, I don't think, about anything, that I don't believe or things like that. But I don't know, it's definitely awkward for me, and I would say I've been a lot more distant lately.
What about your relationship with your mom?
We're like best friends, bro.
Have you always been like that?
No. I would say I didn't really like my mom growing up, because every single friend I brought over, bro, every single one, you need to be careful about that one. You need to be careful about her. I don't like her. I think she's acting different around you. And I'm like, shut up, Mom. You don't know her. I talk to her every day. And she's like, I don't know. After meeting her once, she knew. And she was right about all of them. And then as I grew up, I understood that she was right about a lot of things, and I learned to stand up for myself. So I'm very open with my mom. She knows I don't believe. She knows everything that I do in my life. And even if she doesn't agree with it or like it, she still loves me, and she still offers me the support. And I'm very honest with her about how I feel about things. Even if it hurts, like maybe her feelings in an indirect way. I'm very honest and upfront with her. But with my dad, I'm not, because he's like really pushy type of thing.
The thing right here?
It's, oh, I'm so sorry.
You can put it under, just put it under so you can still have your head that way. But you can put it like right under your,
Right here?
yeah, that'll work. So
I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't mess up the whole video. Watch it happen.
we'll be good.
Okay, whatever you say.
Alright, so what about, so the emotions with your mom are like happy, safe?
Happy, safe, accepting. Like I feel accepted. What else would I would say? Trust.
What do you say are the main things you learned from your parents?
How to make people feel welcomed, how to make someone feel better, how to greet people, and basically manners.
Right?
Because at
No,
church, at church I had to greet everyone, and my brothers didn't have to greet a single person. So I'm used to being like the center of attention, but not really. It's like everyone knows who I am, but it's all about them when they're around me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, could you tell me about your first love? And then we all know with first loves, the emotions are crazy. So about the emotions with that too.
Okay. My first love was my first year of college. I had never really had a relationship over like, I want to say like 3 months.
Yeah.
So I never really felt like I had like a true relationship.
Yeah.
He started like coming over and like wanted to consistently like hang out with me multiple times a week, saying he loved to hang out with me. But every time I approached him about like, what are we type of thing, he'd be like, you know, I'm just going with the flow. I like where we're at right now. Let's not put a name to it. Let's not call it anything. I like what we got. And I was like, okay. So I kept asking this consistently, because we were kind of seeing each other like 5 times a week for like 5 months. And I had no idea where we stood.
How did that feel? Like
horrible, because I was like, you like me, but I don't understand why you don't like me enough to like tell me, type of thing, like to reassure me with a relationship. I guess that's what I was looking for. And then the emotions of just like, you know, me putting all this effort in and getting positive feedback when I was with him, but then seeing the things that he would do behind my back, like talking to all these girls on my birthday, like all these different things. And then when I would like try and end it, and
tell you everything you wanted to hear.
Yeah, I would try and end it and be like, look, I don't want this, but if you want to talk to me about something, I'd be like open to hearing you talk about it, but this is not what I want. And if you're not serious about having a relationship, then I don't want you around. And so he would say, oh, I want to talk with you. And then he would tell me all these things, make all these excuses. And then finally, he never really asked to be in a relationship. It was just like on February 14th, he gave me a promise ring. So that kind of was like my cue that maybe he's taking things seriously. So, and then he was just saying like, you mean a lot to me, and my mom would have liked you because his mom died when he was 12. So I took that to heart because I was like, damn, if he thinks his mom would have liked me, then I must be a bad bitch. No, I'm just kidding. But, so yeah, and then we dated for like 2.5 years with a lot of ups and downs, same things. He had dating websites the whole time we were together and things like that. It was...
Did you tell me about your first
That's
loss or heartbreak?
My first heartbreak?
Like a loss could be a heartbreak as well.
I haven't really had that many people in my life die. I would say like my first true heartbreak was when I like lost my relationship with my oldest brother. So this is like such a complicated story. It's so hard to tell. Okay, so him and I were best friends in high school after I ended.
What's the age?
He's 6 years older than me.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. 5 or 6. So in high school, he was my best friend because I didn't really have friends after losing one of my best friends that I had been friends with for 6 years. And he would pick me up during lunch, and he would take me out to lunch, or on weekends we would go to the movies, just him and I. Even though we had another brother, him and I were just like really close. We always had fun. I would come home every day from school and tell him all about my day. We'd watch movies together. Just like, it was great. He was like my best friend. And I really wanted to get him into dating because he was a handsome guy, but no confidence. None. I was like, what is wrong with you? So I tried to push him into dating girls. So in our church, we had a youth group that he was in, and one of the girls, we didn't really like. She had a reputation in the past of creating rumors and drama, but she had seemed to change over the 2 years. She had been fine, very calm. So I approved of it. I was like, hey, she's hot. You're handsome. Let's do this. Let's try and talk. But she was the sister of my ex-best friend. Do you get what I'm saying?
Were y'all best friends then, or did
No, we were.
She was
we
already
had
an ex-best friend.
already ex-best friend. So
Okay,
she was a sister.
Okay.
I was okay with this because I'm like, I'm not a jealous person. I'm not one to hold grudges. And I was like, go ahead, give it a chance. If you want this to be your first girlfriend, I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So he would play video games and I would text her for him because I'm a smooth talker. I know exactly what a girl wants to hear. I was like, yes, girl, I'll tell you you're cute whenever you want. And so basically she over text said like, can I tell you something? And I already knew what was going on. I was like, all right, stop the game, pause the video game. I know the next text she's about to send. Are you ready to have a girlfriend? Like, I was like so excited for him. And he was like, nah, she's probably not going to say anything. And she said that she liked him and wanted to go on a date. I was like, do it. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? And he was like, all right, let's do it. I was like, yes. I was so happy that I got that for him. So first date went well, and then they decided that they were going to be boyfriend and girlfriend after the first date. After that, I never saw him again. He was the type of guy to wake up late. So he would wake up at noon every day. But when he got this girlfriend, he'd wake up at 8:30 in the morning, 9 a.m., and go straight to her house and would not come back until 3 in the morning. All day. And I'm like, okay, like, I get it. Like, go ahead. I'm not asking for too much attention. But then I would like call him because I miss my brother and I want to talk to him. And he wouldn't even talk to me for like more than a minute over the phone and say like, oh, I have to go. I'm busy. We're about to do something. And I'm like, all right, well, call me back when you have a little bit of free time, or when can I see you later this week? Never happened. So I kind of like gave him his distance, but then things just started getting weird. When we would see each other at church, he said that like we could no longer hug each other because it made her uncomfortable. She would get mad at like family dinners if we were all having too much fun and she wasn't a part of it. But the thing is we would try and include her and she would just give us like a 1-sentence answer and like nothing else. And we would try and like go off of that, but she was just very, shy, and she wouldn't like really talk, but then she'd get mad after and we would all have to like apologize to her type of thing. She announced, after this, I was trying to have a relationship with my brother, but no matter.
How old was he at this time?
So I'm trying to think. I was a freshman, so I was 15. So I'm pretty sure he was 20. I'm pretty sure we're 5.5 years apart. So he was 20. So I was fine though. I mean, like, I wasn't asking for too much. I was just like, you can do your thing, but I just didn't understand why I couldn't even have a conversation with my brother. Yeah. I tried to have a conversation with him, and, you know, we would get so excited around each other when we finally could talk to each other, and then she would get mad, saying that when I was talking to him, I wasn't including her into the conversation. So when I would try and do that, the conversations would always run up short and like awkward and no laughing and like not the same. So I kind of just like was like, all right, you know, you like do your thing. I'm trying my best to like fit in. And then like my parents were really scared that they were having sex, you know, because it was a religious family. So then all of a sudden, because my parents were worried about this, they kept talking to me and my other brother about it. So me and my other brother was like pressuring my brother, don't have sex with her. Make sure you're not having sex. Don't have sex, you know? Because at a young age, I was a Christian. And they were probably having sex early on, but they did end up getting pregnant together, and they announced it right after my birthday party. Just like stupid shit. So just like, yeah, I was just like
petty on her part
all the time, and I never was. I was like, so I was like, whatever. Anything I got for Christmas, anything I got for my birthday, anything that I like was wearing, like lipstick wise, makeup wise. What is that? Where did you get that? Where do you get that? Next day, I got it. Look, this. Good for you. Great for you. But then she'd be like, oh, I got it at a better price than you. Or I found someone this and this and this. Or for Christmas, if I got a speaker, she'd get the newer one and be like, look, I got this, you know? And I'd be like, awesome. What else do you say to that? Like, great for you. I don't know what else you want to hear from me, you know? So yeah, I kind of just like, for years of my life, I didn't understand why I could have zero relation.
So describe the heartbreak emotionally.
I don't know. I just felt like I leaned on him after breaking up with one of my best friends, and then him just being gone No goodbye. No, just in one day, no relationship. Completely gone.
And you still haven't talked to him?
He forgot my birthday this year. And I tried so hard in every way I could to, work around them in order for me to have a relationship with him. And no matter what I did, it seemed like I was always doing something wrong when I was doing everything in the most careful way. So I just figured that if he's not fighting to have a relationship with me, there's no point. I should just stop, So, and she's tried to use a lot of things against me, you're a bad influence on my kids and stuff, from memes that I post on Facebook. Just stupid shit. So.
And they're still in the church?
Yeah, kinda. They consider themselves religious and Christian.
Who would you say first taught you love, and how?
Probably myself. From being alone a lot. And just understanding that no one really cares about what you have to say. A lot of people judge you. And the only way for you to be happy is if you're happy with yourself and not what any other people say or think. So yeah, myself. And I would say I learned that probably the same time that my brother left me, because that was the lowest point of me just questioning why my own brother didn't want anything to do with me or wasn't even caring about what was going on, and he knew exactly what was going on. So yeah.
So would it be conversations you would have with yourself to let yourself know what love is? And would you say that being raised in the church, obviously being taught that Jesus loves you, that you use that as a tool on how to love yourself as well?
No.
Not at all?
No. Because I never really imagined. I guess you could say you got when I was younger, I would get they would call it the Holy Spirit feeling, but it's goosebumps that start either from your head or your toes, and you just feel it all in your body, and you feel it for 10 seconds. And sometimes it feels like a hug or something. But honestly, I think that was during prayer. You're talking. You're openly talking. And I think that's a very good thing. In religion, sure, but even with yourself. Because when you pray, you start talking about your problems. You start talking about things you struggle with, things that you want to do in life. And you're hearing it, and you're comprehending it. And you're just talking for however long you pray for, I used to pray for hours and just bawl. And it was me being conscious about what was going on in my life, how I was feeling, how people were making me feel.
So you would say, would that have been a tool you used?
Yeah, I guess you're right. That could have been a tool that I used. And I stopped kind of associating it with Jesus, because it's why should I say, oh, you take this all in your hands and I'm not going to do anything? When I know exactly what I need to do, and I wish the best for people, but if you're not going to treat me right, and if you're if the relationship we have like puts me down, that's not what I need to be around. That's not how I want to feel. And basically, to me, myself, I asked, how do I want to feel? And how do I make myself feel that way? Obviously, these people need to go, you know? And if I don't have anyone else after all these people go, then I only have myself, and I need to start feeding myself things that are going to uplift me, motivate me, and things of the sorts.
So then the next question is, what's love to you? And has it always been that, or has it changed? So what was love like? What was love to you before, and what's love to you now, and how do you compare the two?
Okay.
And it could be the
So before, I would have said that like love could have been support, being there, and maybe just like affection. From a young age, like, you know, hugs and stuff. I didn't really have boyfriends growing up. And as I get older, I don't believe in love. I think it's one of those things where you can just uplift yourself. I don't really believe in it right now.
Right now.
Right now, I don't.
But you believe in love in the sense of loving oneself. So you do believe in the
If that's what you want to call it. I can uplift myself, and I can tell myself like good things, you know, and I know who I am, and I guess I'm assertive in who I am, and I understand that what people think of me is irrelevant because they don't know me. Only I know myself, and it doesn't matter what they think.
So you said you don't believe in love right now, so does that leave a possibility that maybe you will one day believe in love?
I mean, sure. I don't know, honestly.
Do you believe that you can love somebody?
Yeah, easily. Oh yeah, easily. But I don't think that people can do it for me, because I know what I can give. And time again, people in my life show me that they can't give not nearly the same amount that I can give.
How does that feel?
Just come to accept it now. You know, like, I used to try and like make people feel good, you know, make people feel how I wanted to feel. To know that they're not alone, that they shouldn't be sad, that they have all this potential, that they're beautiful, and that they need to see the things that they're good at and stop being so sad. And, you know, and like feel that upliftment and feel who you are and be who you are. But no one has ever done that to me. And that's okay, because I can do it for myself.
So neither your mom or your dad did that for you?
I feel like my mom like belittled me a lot growing up. But I don't think she meant it in that way. You know, I've always been like overweight, and she's always been like the one to like comment about things all the time, or you can't wear this because of how you look, or you shouldn't be eating that, or, you know, you shouldn't be friends with this person, blah, 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 or only black guys are gonna love you because you're thicker, things like that.
She's Latin, right? She's Latin?
Yes. She's from Costa Rica.
Tell me about a good day.
A good day?
Yeah, a good day, just a general good day.
I would say a good day would be me waking up early, putting on music, taking my dog out to the park, and walking, taking a nice walk, and maybe even being active and accomplishing small goals. You know, like working out would be a goal, and if I accomplish that, then I feel good. And just like music throughout the whole day, because it really shuts my brain off and lets me focus on something else rather than be like stuck, you know? And it's like, nah, let's not do that. Let's have loud music.
What do you listen to?
I listen to everything, My favorite though would probably be R&B and Latin music. I like bachata and cumbia.
Tell me about a bad day and how you get through a bad day.
A bad day is like when I can't get out of bed, and I wake up in a mood already. You know, just like ugh type of mood. Probably had a bad dream at some point in the night. Probably because, you know, dreams sometimes do with emotions and how you feel about things. And just like everything going wrong, being really clumsy, people having like a certain attitude around you and not getting the type of kindness or I guess you could use the word love that you want back. Just like people being very short with you. And maybe, you know, if a situation that was really overwhelming happened at work. All those things that stack up, they really turn my day into a bad day, or hearing bad news too. That would be a bad day.
So how do you get through those days?
How do I get through it? I kind of just like keep telling myself that it's gonna be okay, and that you know, it happened and it already happened and there's nothing you can do about it now. It happened. You know, it doesn't mean it's gonna be bad the whole night. And don't let one bad thing turn your mood bad to where everything that goes on, you see it in a negative way. You know, like still be positive. Even after something overwhelming and bad happened, still find the positives in things.
What are two things or events or people that have shaped you? Can be good or bad. How does it feel when you reflect on that?
I would say probably the stage where I was losing my brother, because it kind of showed me that I don't even know how to explain it, man. That's a hard question. I don't even think I can answer it.
What's inspired you?
Myself. I think I'm a genius sometimes. I'm sorry. It's probably not a very good answer.
Perfect answer. So why would you say you've inspired yourself?
Think of what?
Like, so you inspire yourself, so why is it that you inspire yourself?
I've just seen myself go through so many things, and it's like no matter how shitty I felt, or like just that deep dark spiral where it's like negative thinking and it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper towards the end where you just want to end your life, like no one cares. But then you just think about, well, my parents, they're gonna be crying, they're Christian, and then their own daughter committed suicide. Well, damn, you know, I feel that sense of responsibility. Anyways, what inspired me? I just see everything that I've gone through, and I've been the only one by myself to really process all of these things and get myself out of these dark holes by myself. No one ever was there to support me. If I tried talking to my parents about this, all they would say is, talk to God. God has a plan for you, and trust in God. What did that do for me? Nothing. I had to do it all myself. I need to analyze every single thing. I had to be like, this negative thought, why is it affecting you? Why does it matter? You know? And if that's a negative, then think of 2 positives or 3 positives about yourself. So I just know I've been the one there always, and I know I've gone through a lot, and I've felt many negative emotions, but I know that I can get myself out of there, and I know what people feel like when they're at the lowest of lows because I've pushed myself to that point so I could relate to other people. But I did not want to stay there. Because what's the point of feeling shitty and not wanting to do anything and thinking that life sucks and that what people think about you is horrible and blah, 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 and thinking about that every day. And then adding on to like hypothetical negative thoughts type of thing. And just constantly putting yourself down. Why do you want to feel like that every day? What does that do for you? What are you going to get accomplished? What do you want to do? And why, how is negative thinking going to get you there? It's not. It's not. And in order for you to do that, you need to change. You need to do something about it.
What has been a humbling experience for you? Can you describe the feelings you had such an experience?
I would probably say like my first love in a relationship, the one in college. I definitely felt like he was in the wrong a lot, but I also felt like I was asking for a lot. And in the relationship, yeah, he might have been the main problem, but it's not that I was innocent either. The way I reacted to things, the way I talked to him and talked down to him, I had to realize all these things. He wasn't the only toxic one, and I had to really figure out what I was feeling and why I was putting all these negative feelings on him. And so it wasn't only just him, but at the same time, I didn't do that all the time, but I did do it during fights. And so I've kind of like learned to say that like, if you don't have anything nice to say, or if the person just can't comprehend what you're saying, and you try to keep saying it, and then it turns to you belittling them and telling them they're stupid and blah, 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 then no, like there's no point. Stop explaining. It doesn't matter anymore, because once you start putting another person down because they don't agree with you or blah, 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 that's not okay. You know, they just don't get it. You need to move on. So that kind of humbled me a little bit, because I understood that for a long time I thought he was like everything was on him. And I needed to learn that maybe I was asking for too much. Maybe I was being a little too sensitive. Things like that. In a good way though. Not saying that I should like be in that toxic setting. I just felt like I learned from the experience.
Okay, so now the next question is, just go in your head and think about a life event. And this life event can be mental, physical, spiritual. So tell me about a time in your life that you would be able to relate with the word war.
War?
Yeah.
Let's see here. I would probably say war. Kind of when I started seeing my brother's girlfriend kind of compete with me almost. And like then I really started getting this sense of like when I was around her family, I was just like automatically in a bad mood, or I didn't even want to talk to them. And it was one of those things where it felt like I was fighting over my brother and I just kept losing. So that felt like a really big war and battle for years that I kept trying to fight for.
How'd that feel during?
Helpless. Kind of like scrambled my mind of different solutions, different approaches. What am I doing wrong, and what do I do to get his attention? Type of thing. I felt really desperate.
mental, physical, spiritual.
Mhm.
But this time, where you can relate it to the word peace.
Peace. Life event, peace. I usually like to be like alone, but when it's like outside and windy and when you're kind of just meditating, just absorbing everything in and not really thinking about the negative things, but thinking about how you overcame the negative things, or just, not even thinking about anything, just being there.
So,
It's not really a life event, it's just what I do. Sorry. I don't really have a specific life event.
so the next question, I think you've already answered it, if I guess right.
Mhm.
Tell me about a truly difficult time in your life and the emotions that came from it, which I would venture to say would be the whole.
No, it's probably something different. So repeat the question one more time.
Tell me about a truly difficult time in your life.
Mhm. Okay.
The emotions that came with it, and how did you endure?
Okay. So I would probably say in high school, all my friends were kind of like either having sex or getting boyfriends, and I wasn't getting any of that kind of attention. I was also really insecure. So I like went to this party with my best friend at the time, and I didn't really want to go, but she was a big partier and she really wanted to go, and she was spending the night, so I was like, I feel like I have to go now. And we went to this party, and basically we knew no one there. It was a college party. And then I saw these two guys staring at us, and I was like, bro, these two guys want to talk to us. I already know. Because I could tell. Like, I'm just really good with that kind of stuff. And so I was like, look, if we just keep looking at them, they're going to come over. Like, just straight up look at them, bro. And so that's what we did, and they came over. We started talking, and then I immediately knew that they wanted, because they were like, we should go smoke, but my car is like 2 blocks down. And I was like, they want blowjobs. I knew it. I was like, they want blowjobs. That's what they want. And I was like, hold on, guys. Just give me a second. I'm going to talk with my best friend. So I'm like, girl, you know what this means, right? And she's like, they want to smoke some weed. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, you're wrong. So I'm like, bro, they're giving us free weed. I know they want something back. Especially if their car is that far away. They want it to be in a private area where they could do this shit. I know. Even though I had no experience with this. And even before we went to the party, I was like, today's the day where I give my first blowjob. So I was kind of down at the same time. But yeah, I was like, all right. So I go to them and I'm like, are you guys inviting us to your car to smoke weed because you want to do something? And they're like, yeah, we want to fuck. And I'm like, okay. I was like, to my best friend, I was like, told you. I was like, all right, we don't want to fuck, but I'm down to give you blowjobs. So they were like, all right. And then I was like, next thing, we're not going to your car. We're going to go find somewhere close to do it. Because I didn't.
Okay.
So, well, and they had the weed in their pocket, and they were saying that it was in the car. Yeah. So I already knew what these guys were doing. So we smoked a little bit, and then my best friend claimed that she didn't want to do anything anymore, that she just wanted to stay at the party. So I was like, okay, I'm going to fulfill my destiny tonight. I'll see you later. So I went with this guy, and I was, doing my thing. But some person that came across the street interrupted us, so we moved, and she was like, did you finish him off? And I was like, no, I didn't. And she's like, oh, well, you should. I'm like, oh, that was a lot of work. I was like, okay, I guess I'll go finish him off. So we start walking, and he starts talking about, oh, have you ever had sex? And I was like, no. He's like, do you want to have sex? And I was like, no. Things like that. And then he's like, are you sure it feels really good? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I hear that all the time in high school. But no, I don't want to have sex tonight. I just wanted to give a blowjob. And he just wouldn't let it go. It was just like the only thing coming out of his mouth. And I was like, yes, I know, no. And when I do have sex, I already know I'm going to be a sex addict, but I just don't want to have it now. And so he's like, fine, fine, fine. I'll just take the blowjob. So we're going a little farther than we did because someone came out of their house, so we didn't want to be around houses. So we went a little farther, and when I was doing that, he basically raped me. Because he just was like, come here, and then shoved me, and then pulled my pants down. And I didn't want it, because I obviously said no a lot. So after this little situation, I had to push him off me because he was taking a really long time. And I just left, and when I went to go look for my best friend, she was nowhere to be found. And she actually ended up having sex with the other guy, consensual sex. And then when she came back, she's like, bro, I had sex. And I was like, bro, me too. But in the moment, I kind of made it seem like it was something exciting because she was excited, you know? And then she was like, oh, well, can you check if I'm bleeding and blah, blah, blah. And I was bleeding. And then I was like, oh, well, that's normal on the first time. And I didn't want to tell her what happened the first night, just because I felt like I was in shock and I didn't really want to approach the subject and kind of just wanted to get over with. And I had never had sex, so I was kind of also pointing that it had to be like that. So then the next day at school, I told her, and I told my friends, and no one believed me because they said that I make a lot of sexual jokes and I'm a sexual person. So anytime I tell that to someone, I even told that to my parents, and they kind of just brush it off. So it kind of sucked because I know that I'm a sexual person and I know that that's my humor, but that doesn't mean that I wanted it. And it kind of sucked because my mom would always tell me shit like that. And I was being really naive. But that was probably one life event where it was really shitty that not even my best friend or even my close friend group believed that that could happen to me because of my personality, I guess.
So how do you get through that?
I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things where it's it sucks that it happened like that. It doesn't mean I shouldn't enjoy sex.
Could you tell me about a time that you were truly happy?
I don't really know. Probably. I mean, I try my best to be as positive and happy as I can, just because I'd rather be that than in a bad mood and so negative. I'm probably most happy when I'm with animals because they're just all loving, always excited to see you, always ready to cuddle you, always ready to play. They're just really cute and they just want all the love, and I know that they can give the same amount as me.
And that's why we all love pets. What keeps you up at night?
It used to be sleep paralysis. Where it kind of felt like demons were visiting me and talking in my ear, and it even felt like sometimes, I don't know, it's okay if other people don't believe this, but it kind of felt like they were molesting me sometimes. Just really weird shit even before I had sex. Like money problems, what my parents go through. I always think about that, and I always feel a sense of like responsibility, that because I know that they don't have a lot of money, that I have the potential, and I know that I could be someone great, and I know that that can happen for me, and I need to do it, because before they're gone, I need to make sure that they know that I could provide, and that I'm thankful for everything that they provided for me. I just want them to be secure at the end of their lives. It's just something that I worry about a lot, because I feel like I'm not making progress sometimes, and I feel like I need more confidence to do it. But I know I could do it. But I do think about like financial problems, I guess, but my parents' financial problems.
What keeps you going every day?
Um, I think that I know that people need me. I may not need anyone else, but I feel like I know how to make people feel loved. I know how to make people feel beautiful. And I know I can see right through them, and I can see all the amazing things in a person. And I know that I need to be the one to tell that person, because they might not have anyone else to tell them that. So I just feel like my purpose here on earth is probably for other people, and for people to know that I understand them completely.
Imagine you're in the hospital today. You only have hours to live. What are your regrets?
Eating too much as a kid, and probably wish I never went to that party. And calling my mom a bitch one time.
You're gonna make it, so you're not in the hospital.
I don't really have that many regrets.
What do you feel you can do now to have positive outcomes out of those regrets that you would have had?
Positive, just to let my mom know that I love her every day and that she's a great woman, even though sometimes the way she says things isn't the way it's meant to be said. And, from the other positive things from the party and stuff is we all go through things in life, and it's just a matter of growing. And, I learned not to be so naive at that point, just like being assertive. And just like, whatever we go through, it's an experience, and we grow from it and we learn from it, and that's okay.
You tell me what your dreams were as a kid. What are your dreams now?
I want to be an interior designer and a therapist. I really like to getting to know people. So interior design, I get to know what kind of things they like and how they want their house to look like. And I'm gonna always be designing something different, so I'm never gonna be bored. And then therapist wise is I just know that I can connect with people, and I know that I can feel what they feel, and I'm very good at giving advice in order for them to get themselves out of something. But advice catered to them, and not just a general advice that could be for anyone. I'm really good at telling what a person needs and maybe seeing a way that would work for them. Mhm.
You get to write you're in the middle of it or the beginning, or then you get to finish off all the chapters. How do you want it to end? And how will you feel when it ends the way you want it to?
I just want people to know how strong I am and how great my mind is and how big my heart is. And I probably feel great.
That's it.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Of course.